It's a day to showcase Myanmar's modern weaponry and tactical capabilities, and a chance to tell the world that Myanmar is ready to handle external threats. But what it doesn't want the world to know is its struggles with domestic threats. Since the coup in 2021, the military has been accused of turning its guns towards civilians, from launching airstrikes to setting villages on fire. And Armed Forces Day since the coup has been seen as the stage which sets the tone for violence. Violence and death toll peaked in Myanmar on Armed Forces Day in 2021, nearly 2 months after the coup. The army was accused of killing about 100 people across the country that day. The Myanmar military and an ethnic armed group were also engaged in armed violence, leading to civilians fleeing into Thailand. The following year, Army Chief Min Aung Hlaing vowed to, and I quote, annihilate terrorist groups till the end. During the Armed Forces Day last year, he again reaffirmed that warning to deal with his opponents. It's always in the Myanmar Army's plan to develop its military capabilities. That includes buying better weapons, equipment, and recruiting more soldiers. But such efforts hit a roadblock after the coup. The Myanmar Army's total strength is estimated to be around 200,000 to 300,000. But its troops are depleting due to casualties in the battlefield and through defections.
Every citizen has the duty to safeguard independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar.
3 years ago, right after the coup, the army chief hinted at conscription, an idea that didn't take off until earlier this year. On February 10th, the army announced plans to recruit more soldiers by imposing a mandatory conscription law. And this led the young and middle-aged, both men and women, to desperately search for ways to flee Myanmar.
People leaving the airport, they have to go through the screening. So the people who are already in the conscription list, they won't be able to leave the country. So that is one thing what they might do. And even in domestic airline, buying air tickets nowadays require endorsement from local authorities. So these are the part of the restrictions the current regime may enforce on the young people to prevent them from leaving the country.
Amid the military's attempt to tighten its grip on the deteriorating situation in the country, Army Chief Min Aung Hlaing is facing increasing demand from his supporters to step down. The 67-year-old's leadership has been questioned by many after a series of battlefield defeats for the Myanmar Army in a sweeping offensive by rebel groups that started in October last year, dubbed Operation 1027. But observers don't expect any big change for now.
Probability-wise, that kind of mutiny we may not see at this point, but situation could change very quickly in the military. Situation could also change very quickly among the senior leadership as well.
In another move that could further weaken Min Aung Hlaing and his army's position, rebels have opened a new frontier of warfare against the Myanmar Army from above.
Some of these drones are also originally intended for sports or as a leisure item, and they have been modified to carry explosives. And what this does to the battle scene is that it changes the warfare and nature of doctrine itself, because a lot of the Myanmar Army's forces are being trained in conventional warfare. They have not been indoctrinated to deal with this kind of commercially available drones that are now being modified for military use.
The security expert says military services around the world are now studying ways to deal with emerging threats like this. But for the Myanmar Army, who's saddled with multiple challenges, the question is not just how they'll deal with these obstacles, but also how they'll remain relevant in the country. Leong, CNA.